Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
William Marion Doolin was born around 1858 in the rugged hills of Johnson County, Arkansas. Known as Bill, he was born to Michael and Artemina Doolin, a humble sharecropping family making a living on borrowed land. His father died around 1865, leaving Doolin as the only son among sisters and assuming heavy responsibilities at just the age of 7 years old. In the post-Civil War Arkansas, Doolin grew up in poverty and toil, where the rugged landscape offered little hope for prosperity. Working on his family's farm, he plowed fields, tended crops like cotton and corn, and developed his horseback riding and shooting skills. He likely had little to no formal schooling, learning only through occasional home lessons. But his tough early years made him a strong, reliable young man, respected by neighbors for his honesty and hard work. In his early 20s, the stifling constraints of the Arkansas Ozarks drove him to seek a new life. In 1881, at the age of 23, Doolin ventured west to Indian Territory, now modern-day Oklahoma, chasing opportunities to work as a cowboy. He found steady work on vast ranches, including that of Oscar Halsell, along the Cimarron River, where his reliability earned him promotions and mentorship in reading, math, and ranch management. For nearly a decade, Doolin herded cattle across Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma, enduring harsh winters like the devastating 1882-1883 blizzard that decimated herds. Yet, as federal policies displaced cattlemen from unassigned lands in the late 1880s, Doolin's life of honest labor began to fray. He drifted into petty theft, marking his slow descent into the outlaw life that defined the fading American frontier. Doolin's full embrace of criminality came into the early 1890s when he joined the notorious Dalton Gang, led by the Dalton brothers, former lawmen turned bandits. Specializing in bold train and bank robberies, the gang struck across Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Indiana. Doolin participated in high-stakes heists, such as the 1891 Santa Fe train robbery near Outlaw, California, where he sustained a gunshot wound to his foot. His absence from the gang's disastrous double bank robbery in Coffeyville, Kansas on October 5, 1892, possibly to scouting or holding horses, spared him the fate that claimed 4 Dalton brothers and others in a deadly shootout with townsfolk and lawmen. Undeterred by the Coffeyville massacre, Doolin regrouped with the surviving outlaw Bill Doolin to form a new syndicate known as the Doolin-Dalton Gang, or the Wild Bunch, which operated from late 1892 until 1896. This loose alliance of desperados included colorful figures like George Bitter Creek Newcomb, Tulsa Jack Blake, Dynamite Dick Clifton, Charlie Pierce, Arkansas Tom Jones, whose real name was Roy Daughtry, and Red Buck Waitman. The Wild Bunch mirrored the Daltons' tactics, executing daring robberies that terrorized the Southwest. Notable crimes included the June 1893 holdup of the Santa Fe train near Red Rock, Oklahoma, bank raids in Pawhuska and Woodward, Oklahoma in 1894, and the 1895 train robbery in Dover, Oklahoma. The gang's hideout in the small town of Ingalls, Oklahoma became infamous, culminating in the brutal Battle of Ingalls on September 1, 1893. A posse of 13 United States Marshals ambushed them in a saloon, sparking a fierce gunfight that killed 3 lawmen, 2 bystanders, and wounded many others. Arkansas Tom Jones was captured after slaying 3 deputies from a hotel window, but Doolin and several accomplices escaped. As the Noose Titan, pursued relentlessly by who became known as the 3 Guardsmen, which was Deputy Bill Tillman, Chris Madsen, and Heck Thomas, the Wild Bunch fragmented. Suffering from rheumatism from his old gunshot wound to the foot, Doolin fled to New Mexico and Kansas, marrying Edith Ellsworth in 1893 and briefly seeking refuge near her family. In late 1895, he traveled to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, for the town's sulfur springs to alleviate his ailments. There, on January 15th, 1896, Tillman captured him single-handedly in a bathhouse without firing a single shot. Imprisoned in Guthrie, Oklahoma, Doolin faced charges for the Ingalls killings and rejected a 50-year plea deal. Before the trial, he escaped with Dynamite Dick Clifton in a daring jailbreak. But Doolin's freedom proved to be short-lived. Hiding out near Lawson, Oklahoma, he was cornered by a posse led by Heck Thomas on the night of August 24th through 25th in 1896. Refusing to surrender and falling under a hail of shotgun and rifle fire, Bill Doolin was killed at the age of 38. He was laid to rest in Summit View Cemetery in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Bill Doolin's legacy endured as a symbol of the fading Wild West, a reluctant outlaw whose Arkansas roots and cowboy skills thrusted him into infamy. His story blurred the line between surviving the frontier and turning to crime, while showcasing the unstoppable spread of law that tamed the wild lands. Immortalized in the Eagles' 1973 song, Doolin-Dalton, Burt Lancaster's portrayal in the 1981 film Cattle Annie and Little Britches, and numerous writings and documentaries, Doolin remains celebrated as the king of Oklahoma outlaws.